It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News Live on 97.3 Citi FM. The news is live from our studio here in Accra. I am Ino Safo. Coming up, academic activities threatened as strike by 3 university staff unions begins at KNUST.
We are also monitoring from other campuses, and the information reaching us is good that people are complying.
Meanwhile, the situation is very different at the University of Ghana, where the unions have defied the strike directive. Also coming up, inflation drops for 13th straight month to 3.8%.
It marks the 13th consecutive month of decline in inflation. Third, it is the lowest inflation rate recorded since the CPI rebasing in 2021.
Still ahead, Education Minister alarmed about increasing spate of fires in senior high schools.
I am worried that just in 1 week, we have recorded 3 fire outbreaks in our secondary schools in the northern region, all involving girls' dormitories. I am worried.
The bulletin is also live across our partner stations. In the Upper West region, we're live on Tupani Radio 88.5 in Nadoli, Jurapa 96.1 FM in Jurapa. In the Upper East region, we're live on Rekas 92.1 FM in Bongo Namo, Mike 105.3 FM in Navrongo. In the Northern region, we're live on North Star Radio 92.1 in Tamale. In the Northeast region, we're live on Nobia FM 98.1 in Nalarugu. In the Western region, we're live on Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM, both in Takoradi. Across the globe, we're live on citynewsroom.com.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for tuning in. Let's settle for the details of our stories. The Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Clement Apak, has expressed concern over the recent spate of fire outbreaks at girls' dormitories in senior high schools in the northern region. Speaking during visits to Pon Tamale Senior High School and Tolon Senior High School following recent fire incidents, the Deputy Minister called for closer collaboration between the Ministry of Education and the Ghana National Fire Service to develop a comprehensive framework to prevent future outbreaks. He stressed the need for thorough investigations into the causes of the fires, including the possible use of unapproved electrical gadgets by students or acts of arson.
This is becoming one too many. I mean, this is only the northern region. We've recorded fires in other parts of the country, in other secondary schools. So I think it may be time for us as a ministry to engage the Ministry of Interior and to work with the National Fire Service so that we can come out with a strategy, a formula, a framework that would get them as experts in this area involved in the processes so that we can be able to perhaps even preempt and take preventive action. I mean, sometimes these students they bring gadgets that they are not supposed to, and some of them may try to either charge them or use them by making some connections that they shouldn't. I'm not saying that could be the cause, but who knows? Could it also be that there could be some arsonists who take delight in celebrating the burning down of facilities? We don't know. So essentially what I'm saying is that we need to try and get an understanding of why this is the case so that we can take corrective measures.
He also urged school authorities to heighten security and closely monitor access to school facilities, warning that some individuals may have ulterior motives.
And let's all do our best to protect public and collective property because we need the facilities to enhance teaching and learning. So whatever we can do to protect, let's do that. Vigilance is important. Let's pay attention to those who come onto our campuses. Not everyone may mean well. So that if there are some arsonists who have decided to make this their new project, we can apprehend them and then hold them accountable.
Dr. Clement Apak is the Deputy Minister of Education. The Registrar of the Scholarship Secretariat, Alexander Asafweje, has commended President John Dramani Mahama for referring allegations of the sale of government scholarships to the National Investigations Bureau for investigation. The claims made by Kofi Ofosun Kansa on Sumpa FM alleged that scholarships meant for study in the United Kingdom were sold to members of the New Patriotic Party. In a statement, Alexander Asafweje described the decision as commendable and said no UK scholarships had been awarded under his leadership. Here are excerpts of his statement read by my colleague Shiba Araba Benin.
I am glad His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has taken the wild allegations by Kofi Ofosun Kansa on Sumpa FM seriously and referred the matter to the National Investigation Bureau for a full investigation into claims that scholarships were sold by some state institutions to some MPP party members to Ghanaians to study in the United Kingdom. The evil that men do indeed lives after them. While the erstwhile Akufo-Addo administration left the nation worse off, with the past registrar having issued fake awards into March 2025, one thing is now certain. The era where the rich, connected and influential cornered scholarships outside merit is over. Under the resetting agenda, scholarships have been reclaimed for deserving Ghanaians, anchored on transparency, fairness and merit, with zero tolerance for corruption. For every act of plunder perpetrated against the nation, full accountability will be demanded, and the time for reckoning is fast approaching.
You heard excerpts of a statement by the Registrar of the Scholarship Secretariat, Alexander Asafweje, commending President John Dramani Mahama for referring allegations of the sale of government scholarships to the National Investigations Bureau for investigation. Now, the indefinite strike by the Senior Staff Association of Universities of Ghana is beginning to bite significantly, disrupting academic activities. Some students from the Education Department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology who visited the KNUST Basic School as part of their teaching practice were turned away after teachers, most of whom are members of the striking unions, abandoned their posts. National Chairman of the Senior Staff Association of the Universities of Ghana, George Ansong, confirms to Citi News that members have fully withdrawn their services.
From where we have been, people are complying. It's left with some few people who didn't get the message early, and they have come. We have spoken to them, and we are hoping that they will even leave before 12 noon. And tomorrow, none of our members will come to work. We are also monitoring from other campuses, and the information reaching us is good that people are complying, because this is our life. So I don't think people will come to work and abandon what we are all pursuing.
Are there going to be sanctions against members who do not comply with the directive?
There are sanctions, but we don't normally even apply the sanctions, but when we speak to them, they understand us and they comply.
So are you doing the monitoring alone, or you have other members joining you to do this?
We do it in stages. So today, it's only the executives on this campus who are going around. So what we see is what we inform whether we have to mobilize other people to join us or not. But as I said, the little that we have done this morning is positive.
You heard the National Chairman of the Senior Staff Association of the Universities of Ghana, George Ansong. Let's go over the phone lines and speak to Ashanti Regional Correspondent Doris Lonta, who was at the KNUST earlier, so that she can describe the situation there. Doris, many thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
Hello, Eno. I'm well by Grace Trust. You're well too.
I'm very good, thank you. Doris, describe the situation at KNUST. What is the extent of the impact of the strike?
Yes, so the striking unions have abandoned their duty posts, and academic activities have been affected, especially at the KNUST Basic School, where most of the teachers there are senior staff members. And when we visited earlier, I observed that some of the students were outside playing, and also KNUST Education Department who were at the basic schools to observe their teaching sessions were turned away because the senior staff members were not there to take them through the needed training. And even though they refused to speak on camera, but they actually said that it was going to affect their academic activities because observing the teaching sessions forms or is a key part of their training journey. And so they were.
Doris, we seem to be losing you. If you could reposition yourself, I would really appreciate it. Can you tell us how many student teachers from the education department were affected by the situation today? Unfortunately, we have lost Doris on the line. We will definitely try to re-establish contact with Doris so that we can find out from her exactly the situation at the KNUST, where the indefinite strike by the Senior Staff Association of the Universities of Ghana is beginning to bite, significantly disrupting academic activities there. Now, she said earlier that some students from the education department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology who visited the KNUST Basic School as part of their training practice were turned away. Doris has joined us back on the line. Doris, thanks for joining us. You were making a point that some students from the education department of the KNUST were turned away today.
Yes, so at the KNUST Basic School, I observed that some students from the KNUST Education Department who were there to observe their teaching sessions were turned away because members who are teachers at the basic school have abandoned their duty posts due to the ongoing strike. And even though the students refused to speak on camera, they mentioned that it was going to affect their academic journey because that aspect of the teaching observation forms a key part of their journey. And in fact, they were very disappointed that they had to go back to campus because the teachers were on strike. Very well senior staff members operate, and they were not opposed. And in fact, students visiting the library who would need the services of these senior staff members would not get that today and even subsequent days. That is, if the strike is not called off because the senior staff members are not around, they would have to figure things out on their own. And also the KNUST hospitals, another department that the senior staff members, the other striking unions operate, they have all abandoned their duty posts. And according to the national chairman, he mentioned that the national chairman of the Senior Staff Associations of Universities of Ghana, he mentioned that until their demands are met, they are not returning to their duty posts and that they are not going to take mere assurances. They want to see concrete action, and so they are waiting on government to implement all that they want before they return to the classroom. And in fact, he was on monitoring with some executives, and he actually mentioned that the level of compliance was commendable, and that moving forward, they are going to continue to monitor to ensure that their members comply with the directive. And he also added that anyone who flouts the directive would face the appropriate sanction. And so that's what is happening at the KNUST and also on KNUST campus because of the ongoing strike.
All right, Doris, many thanks for that update, and we'll definitely stay on that beat and update our listeners in subsequent bulletins. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live on 97.3 Citi FM. When we return, inflation drops for 13th straight month to 3.8%. Do stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
My friends, I'm a very happy man. Let me share my testimony. I needed a home at a prime location, but I didn't have enough money. The little I had was too small to buy even a studio apartment, but a friend of mine introduced me to invest to own from Priority View Homes. I invested the little money I had for only 2 years. True to their word, at the maturity date, I qualified for a 2-bedroom luxury apartment at a prime location in Accra. Now look at me, living in my own home without the usual hassle. If you want a stress-free home to live in, I would advise you to sign up to their investor-owned policy and say cheers to a new home. You may call Priority View Homes Limited on 055-588-2294, 055-588-2294, and you will never regret you did. Priority View Homes, there's no place like home.
We are gearing up for the trip of a lifetime. Heritage Caravan 2026. From 1st to 8th March 2026, 8 days, 14 regions, 1 legendary caravan. We're touring Ghana in the most spectacular way on the Heritage Caravan, exploring the beauty, history, and stories that make our nation unique. Rolling out from Greater Accra through Eastern and OT, up north to the Northern and Upper East, and all the way to the Western region, hitting iconic destinations across Ghana. The Heritage Caravan 2026 will be fun, educative, refreshing, and most of all, remarkable. Stay connected. Follow Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM across all social media platforms for updates and join the conversation using the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2026. The Heritage Caravan 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from Citi FM, and it's proudly sponsored by Hollard Insurance, Piva Beverages, Omni Basic Bank, Caveman Watches, Gino, and Didi Shito, and it's supported by Nanes Rice. Heritage Caravan 2026, experience Ghana like never before.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back to the Citi Prime News. Do remember that we're live across affiliate stations in the Ashanti region. Focus 94.3 FM on the KNUST campus in Kumasi. Orange 107.9 FM also in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we're live on Stella Radio 97.1 FM in Dabala. Holy FM 98.5 in Aplao. In the Savannah region, we're live on Kasha 99.5 FM in Damongo. In the Buna region, Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyai. And across the globe, we're live on citynewsroom.com. Let's do some more stories. Ghana's disinflation trajectory has gained momentum, with headline inflation easing to 3.8% in January 2026, the lowest level recorded since 2021 and the 13th consecutive monthly decline. This is according to the latest data from the Ghana Statistical Service. The January outrun represents a 1.6 percentage point drop from the 5.4% recorded in December 2025, reinforcing evidence that prices are rising at a slower pace. Speaking at a press briefing in Accra, government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu urged the government to continue its fiscal consolidation efforts.
This increase in the index translates into a year-on-year inflation rate of 3.8%. In plain language, this means that, on the average, prices were 3.8% higher in January 2026 than they were in January 2025. On a month-on-month basis, inflation was 0.2%, meaning prices increased by 0.2% between December 2025 and January 2026. The January 2026 inflation rate of 3.8% is significant for several reasons. First, it is down from the 5.4% recorded in December 2025, representing a 1.6 percentage point decline in 1 month. Second, it marks the 13th consecutive month of decline in inflation. Third, it is the lowest inflation rate recorded since the CPI rebasing in 2021.
Government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu. Now, NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Entry Boesiakon, popularly known as Chairman Wuntumi, has officially declared his intention to contest the position of National Chairman of the New Patriotic Party. In a statement, Chairman Wuntumi said his decision, follows extensive consultations with party elders and with God. He described himself as a principled, grassroots-driven leader and pledged to rebuild confidence in the party. Here are excerpts of the statement read by my colleague,
Our party has faced challenges and learned hard lessons along the way. At this critical moment, the NPP demands leadership that is steady, principled and committed to unity. A leader who is grassroots personified, who values every member from our elders to the youthful allies and who is willing to make the ultimate sacrifices for the party. I, Bernard Nchibwesiako, Chairman Wontumi, having consulted my maker and sought the Council of Party Elders, hereby declare my intention to serve as National Chairman of the New Patriotic Party. I do so not for personal ambition, but to strengthen, rebuild, and unify our great party. Together, we will restore confidence, empower our grassroots, and position the party to win decisively in 2028.
You heard excerpts of a statement issued by Bernard Nchibwesiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, officially declaring his intention to contest the position of National Chairman of the New Patriotic Party. Ghana Water Limited has disclosed that more than 2 billion cedis in customer arrears is constraining its cash flow and affecting efforts to expand water supply services and infrastructure. According to the company, about 220 million gallons of water are produced nationwide each month, but only 106 million gallons are accounted for. Speaking at the inauguration of Revenue Enhancement Teams, Acting Managing Director Adam Mutawakilu said the losses stem from both technical and commercial challenges, with total losses estimated at 78%.
Our revenue water is classified into two. We have the technical losses, which are the fiscal leakages or past, and then we have the commercial losses, which is as a result of illegal connection, bypass, meter tampering, and all that. Our assessment over the period indicates about 22% of the non-revenue water relates to technical losses because of the aged pipes and aged transmission and distribution lines I indicated earlier. And about 78% is as a result of illegal connections, meter bypassing, billing anomalies, and water theft.
You heard the Acting Managing Director of the Ghana Water Limited, Adam Mutawakilu. The Volta Regional Commissioner of the National Development Planning Commission, Dr. Elikplim Apetogbo, has opposed government's plan to rename the Kotoka International Airport. He described the move as a misplaced priority, arguing that it offers no economic or operational benefit at a time Ghana is facing fiscal pressures and rising public debt. Dr. Apetogbo noted that renaming the airport would involve significant costs, including rebranding, system updates, and parliamentary processes. Here are excerpts of the statement read by my colleague, Fafa Melody Potife.
At a time of fiscal strain, rising public debt, and intense pressure on public investment, the absence of any clearly defined economic, operational, or financial justification makes this proposal deeply concerning. Renaming a major international airport is not cost-free. It requires parliamentary time, administrative capacity, and rebranding and system update expenses. The Kotoka International Airport is already firmly embedded in international aviation systems. Stability and predictability are assets in global air transport. Many countries deliberately retain long-established airport names while directing reform energy toward efficiency, service quality, and commercial competitiveness. Ghana should do same. This proposal also raises a wider governance concern. Public confidence is strengthened when government action is clearly aligned with national development priorities and sequenced according to urgency and impact. For these reasons, I strongly and unequivocally call on the Volta Caucus in Parliament, Volta Regional House of Chiefs, Volta-based diaspora organizations, and all Voltarians at home and abroad to fiercely reject this needless proposal. I also urge the wider Ghanaian public to insist on policy discipline and economic seriousness. Ghana cannot afford distractions. This proposal must be firmly rejected so that national attention remains focused on economic recovery and sustainable growth.
You heard excerpts of a statement issued by the Volta Regional Commissioner of the National Development Planning Commission, Dr. Elik Plim Apatogbo, opposing the government's plan to rename the Kotoka International Airport. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the National Food Buffer Stock Company, George Abradu Otu, says the previous NPP government failed to complete any warehouses under the One District, One Warehouse program. Speaking on Channel 1 TV's Face to Face, he disclosed that 88 of the facilities remain at the foundational stage and require support to become fully operational.
You know, the last government did one district, one warehouse.
Oh, they built some? Some were completed.
None of them was completed. They did 88 of them. That's what they purported to have done. But none of them was completed. So it's now up to me to look for resources to complete them and then put them to national use.
So when you came, the one district, one warehouse?
They had not even a single one was completed.
Are you sure?
I'm telling you.
You're on TV?
Yes.
They will come and challenge you.
Oh, let them come and challenge and tell me. I'll be glad because we need the warehouses. You don't have enough warehouses.
When you say not complete, so they started?
They started, yes. Some are the foundation level, some are middle level, I don't know what. But they have been... And when you see a...
He said discussions are ongoing with the Ministry of Finance and private partners to secure funding and complete the warehouses.
Now I have to talk to our stakeholders, local funds, a World Food Program. They have come to our aid. They told me they are going to give us some dollars to continue with the school, the strategic food reserve. They've taken over some of the warehouses. They are modernizing them, attaching laboratories to them for us. In the north, I mentioned ECOWAS. ECOWAS, too, they have also taken over some warehouses that they are refurbishing for us, expanding, making it more modern. They are also going to attach laboratories, etc., for us to monitor the food and make sure it's wholesome.
Would you want this government to continue with the one district, one warehouse agenda?
Absolutely. I'm in talks with the minister. We'll see where we get funding for us to complete them because it's...
That was Chief Executive Officer of the National Food Buffer Stock Company, George Abradu Otu. The National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, has dismantled a major illegal mining operation on the Pra River in the eastern region. The intelligence-led operation carried out by a joint task force of NIMOS personnel and the Achim Oda Blue Water Guards targeted Galamsey activities between the Ofuase, Auna and Insisi communities in the Achimansa district. NIMOS says about 50 illegal miners fled the scene upon the arrival of the task force. During the operation, 75 dredging platforms and 50 gold washing platforms were destroyed, while 150 mining machines on the riverbed were set ablaze. Pipelines and hoses used to pollute the river were also dismantled. Now, doctors at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital are reporting a significant shift in public perception as improved access to care encourages more Ghanaians to seek early cancer treatment. As the world commemorates Cancer Day today, medical experts say increasing success stories are gradually breaking down the stigma surrounding the disease. A clinical oncologist at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Mervyn Ajimine, tells Citi News these positive outcomes are beginning to change public attitudes towards cancer care.
Most people equate cancer to death. Once they hear about cancer, they think that patient is going to die. But that's false. Even with the most advanced cases, now there are a lot of effective treatments where patient can live for a very long time. So even with stage 4 diseases or metastatic disease that have spread to other parts of the body. Some years back, maybe at 5 years, we will be probably looking at about 5 to 10% of patients surviving. By recent times, they can go as high as 5 years, about 30 to 35% of them are surviving. So all boiled down to effective medication. So cancer is not equal to death. Cancer is not a death warrant. You can survive through cancer. There have been a lot of patients who have gone through the treatment and have survived this disease. Some of them have lived 10, 20 years and they are still living. So you shouldn't think about it that, okay, once you are diagnosed with cancer, you're going to die. You should always understand that there are better options available. And once you report early, you'll be able to survive.
Dr. Mervyn Ajimine is a clinical oncologist at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. And that's how we end today's edition of the Citi Prime News. I am Inu Safo. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day.
City News.